Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on our top 10 most used apps in Monday. And I can already say there are a few bonuses, which Thomas here has squeezed in on the end as well. So it's not 10 anymore. It's this webinar just got better with time. It's like a fine old red wine. As per usual nowadays, it's me here. I'm Fredrik Castellholm. I'm the CRO and a partner at Omnitas. And together with me, I have here Thomas Carlson, who's the CEO and as well as a partner at Omnitas. Want to say hi, Thomas?
Hey.
So by now, I gather that most of you, because I see your names, that you know everything about us already. So let's not get into a deep discussion about who we are, but instead let's get into today's webinar because we have quite a bit to go through, right?
Definitely. Let's move on.
Perfect. So the agenda for today, the intro, we're done. So basically, we're going to go into our apps. Thomas is going to show us a few things. Going to talk a bit about features, usability, use cases, and so on. We'll end up with a Q&A. And as per usual, please, if you have a question already forming in your mind, leave it in the Q&A section. And we will either take it at once because it fits really well, or we'll just save it until the Q&A section at the end. And that's that. So, Thomas, why do we need apps in our Monday accounts?
I'm not sure if the baby is it's in the microphone, but let's. She's really upset right now. Yes, we need apps because that's how we are allowed additional features. That's how we allowed additional functionality. Having the app framework makes Monday even stronger, even better. And I don't know about you. I know there's a lot of Monday partners in this webinar as well. I don't think I'm building a single client solution without an app at all anymore. There's always at least one or two.
Yeah, I would say at least.
Yeah. So they have become really a staple and quite quickly. But it's also we want to do this to promote because there's still a lot of accounts who has not found the app marketplace.
Yes, I know. I actually talked to a client just today, which I haven't talked to in quite a bit. And I was like, do you know about the app marketplace? And they're like, no. Okay, let's go have a look. So basically, apps make a very, very good product even better. That's basically what we're saying, right?
Correct.
So how do we choose the right apps? There's, of course, a few things we should be thinking about in choosing our apps, right?
Yeah, and I accept the obvious thing that it actually needs to have a function or a feature that we need.
Yeah. that seems kind of just on the nose.
Yeah. So this is not general. This is how Omnitas look at an app when we review it, when we make sure that we want to include it. We have we look at it from a security perspective. How is the data managed? Does it stay in Monday? Does it leave Monday? Is it encrypted? Where is the servers located, and so on? Because we want to make sure that we're representing the clients well enough. I'll give you an example. Nowadays, we can have servers in the EU. If you don't know about that, reach out and we'll hook you up. But you still have apps that are using servers outside of the EU. So if you're one of those accounts that are looking to a Monday specific account in the EU, you don't want to have transfer of data to third country thanks to an app, right?
Yeah, especially with the fines coming with breaking the GDPR.
That said, it's not a general problem because the amount of accounts that are in EU right now is rather short. But like I said, reach out if you're interested, and we'll tell you all about it. It could be a total different webinar as well. We also look at pricing, and this is something where we need to understand that the app framework is actually so new So there's a lot of exploratory pricing as well. I know a lot of apps has been running for 3, 4, 5 months and still not understanding exactly how they want to price themselves. We're trying to be the advocate of the users here. So we're actually pushing these developers and saying, if you don't give me indicative prices, I can't push your apps because I don't want to get a surprise 3 months down the line. My clients counts on us to represent them in a good way, right?
Yeah, I know we've had several of those discussions.
And also, how is the app maintained? I mean, look at the Monday had 3 hackathons so far. There's some really cool apps. Some of the real coolest ones are one-offs, and the developer just submitted it to the app challenge and haven't touched it since then. And that's not really the kind of app you want to have in your like operational critical workflows.
No, really, I'm thinking of one especially that I was rather sad that it didn't get developed properly.
Yeah. So we're trying to be. I know we develop apps as well, and we obviously hold ourselves to the same standard. But this is not to push our own apps. This is because we started as normal Monday developers, and that's what we are primarily. We really want to make sure that the quality of the app framework keeps up to what the clients expect, because we have a bunch of enterprise clients and they need enterprise solution quality.
Yes, indeed. With that, here we have a bunch of logos, and I do recognize, well, all of them actually, but I have been using them quite frequently. But here they are, our apps, right?
Yeah, and this is the ones we're going to be talking about, and these are. There's no particular order. It's not this is the best app, this is the second best app. This is apps that are. We see them being used more than other apps when we solve client problems. The top cluster is about a bunch of Monday apps with the Outlook, Gmail, Community Hub, and Item Card. We have some collaboration item apps with the online docs and Miro. We have some data maintenance apps, and then we have some really strong project management apps from Basta Bruins and his gang. And then we have one of the oldest, most well-developed apps in the Monday app infrastructure being Docugen, of course. And then we have 2 of our own, where I think Conversations has more use cases than Funnels, but Funnels is very important when it actually is needed. But the idea is that we're going to be deep diving into all of them, see how they look and feel, and when to use them.
Awesome. Well, I guess I'll let you have the screen, and you'll take us on a tour, right?
Yeah, awesome.
There we go.
Open in browser, a window. There we go. Almost done. Are you seeing me?
Oh yes.
Cool. So
we are receiving.
So we have set up a board. As you see, this is a shareable board. So you'll get this as part of the recording afterwards. So you'll have all the links and everything. So you don't need to take notes. You don't need to remember anything, basically. And from full transparency, of course, we have links to all the pricing information as well, because that's super important that you know what you're doing. We're going to be plowing this upside from top to bottom. So the first out is the item card, and the item card is a Monday own developed app. So that's why these ones don't have any pricing, because they're Monday native apps. And I have a bunch of different demo boards, so I choose this one for this.
For the item card.
Yes, and this is a very simple CRM system that we have as a demo. So the item card view, we press on the update button. The item card view. I haven't been in this account much. I usually play at 80%. And the item card view gives us at a glance view of this opportunity. We can get all the important columns. We can rearrange them any way we want. It looks almost like I prepared this one. So this is the general information. Connect to boards, mirrors don't show up here, formulas don't show up here, and there's a few other columns that don't show. You can see which ones are compatible and which ones aren't compatible. So these are all mirror columns, most of them in this case. This is a location column. No, it's actually a mirror column, sorry. So the mirror and the connect to board is not supported right now. This is being developed. I can tell you that this is going to be, we should have waited with this one in like a few weeks. This item card is going to be amazing. We'll be able to create sections, group stuff up, and have so much. They really have put a lot of love into this product.
Basically everything you have dreamt about, and then yet more.
Yes.
But we do have kind of sorted the connectivity and mirrors, right?
Yes, but we even have it even further. So just to show you, we have sub items here. Those are the sub items showing up here. Again, formula columns are not supported. That's why we only see 3 columns here. This is the company. It's the client, project, the contacts. We see all of them. And what's really nifty is that we can actually do column restrictions on viewing here as well, right? So we can make sure that we only have the columns that we care about.
Which is so good.
Yeah, and obviously there's so many use cases for this. We have, with the release of the item card, we have become more and more strict on how much information we're actually showing in the table. So we're reducing the amount of columns all the time because most of them can be accessed through the item card, which is actually a much better experience.
Yeah, and it also decreases the load, right? So you might get even better performance, right? Because you don't have to load everything in your main view.
That's very true. And also, as you see nowadays, Monday remembers what card view you had up when you close it, so it will open in the same one. Also, when you jump between items, it used to default back to the update. But I can tell you that this is a staple of every single build. I want to show you something really cool as well. We have with the long text. If we add a long text column here, yeah. So this is the long text. It can actually be tweaked. And you can have it really well provided. So we're actually developing a board right now in-house for all our content, right? And when we look at that item, we actually have the full layout here. We also use when we have onboarding or hiring processes, when we want to look at everything from like how the actual document will look like. We have it the same way in the item card.
Yeah, and this just gives me so many ideas of what I can do and how I can integrate with certain things.
Yeah. But I really want to. I think we need to move on, though.
I think we actually do. But one thing we could mention is that you can, of course, rename the tab, and you can even make it a default tab.
You can do that on all the item cards except the default ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's
a feature of item views.
Yes. So let's jump into the community hub. The community hub, you usually want to call it CRM or something like that. Yeah, this is a proper CRM view. I have done a bunch of activities down here. So you see we have emails going back and forth. I have a phone call. I can have notes to that. I have a note. I have an email. I can track from now on with CommuniHub. We can track open, and we can have a nested discussions. We can see if it's opened. As you see, I'm emailing myself since this is just a demo example. It's quite cool how it's been developed now, because if we go into and we'll create a new email, I have 3 different contact people connected here. Their email addresses is nowhere on this board. The email addresses are just in the other contact board. Still, they're being shown here as suggested 2 addresses where I can just click on them and add them to the email, right? I set my subject and I write my email. Really good language. I even pressed some other wrong buttons, so my whole page reloaded. I have no idea what I pressed.
That was Command R.
Command R. That was quite agile for my fingers to be.
Yes, I was like, good hustle.
Yeah. So there we go. My email signature is already in here. I will show you some of the settings in a while. We can have some events. We can add phone call, meeting, task, or others. These will become proper events when we add them. We have a activities board, which all of them are being added to with the note that we put up. So we can actually have rules here as well in this board. And this is managed natively by Monday. As you see here, sneak peek. Now they say add the duration of the activity manually, but in the future they will have automatic duration because it's also part of the new calendar initiative, right? So there's some stuff planned around this one as well. Yeah, so the settings. The settings are you just do your connected accounts. You can log all outgoing emails, even if you don't start the email from here, by just BCCing this email you have here. And if the contact doesn't exist, you can actually choose to create the contact in a specific board. And this is the email column that should be filled out. You have some automations right now. They're all about incoming emails, but if I'm not mistaken, outgoing emails through the Outlook or Gmail integration, the next version, they will be tracked in this one as well.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know, you can easily set up in either your email client or in your web client a rule that says that you should always BCC a certain address.
Yeah.
So it will be a standard, so you can't miss out on it. It's easy to do both in Outlook and in Gmail.
Yeah, and the signature, you can do it as a simple or HTML based. You can remove email branding if you're on higher tiers. And you can also specify email addresses like your spouse or your partner that never should be tracked and displayed. And you also have a really cool feature, which is here. Sorry. So do I want to share my emails with the rest of the people? Yes, from full transparency in a proper CRM, you want to. But if you're a bit private, you could change to this radio button. But then you're not building a company CRM.
No, because the main idea is to actually share the information, so someone can go on vacation and the rest of you can actually take over the work, right?
Yeah. And other than that, we have the Gmail and Outlook integration. I've actually made them into one because they work exactly the same way. It's just 2 different services. The big difference being with Outlook, the default signature is not carried over. So this is a support email, a support board. So we have a form where people can submit support requests. And I actually wanted to show you how easy it is to set up an auto reply. So either Outlook or Gmail, doesn't matter. Using Gmail because of we being a Gmail company. So I want to do either this one if I have an automatic status get the trigger, but right now, let's say when a new item is created, send an email to someone. I select you get to select your account, and it's quite easy. So who's the someone? Yeah, that's the email column. And what's the email? And you get to compose it here. The name of the person will be the item name. Thank you for submitting your hype ticket. We will get back to you shortly. GLHF at the board, right? If you want a real easy way to give people a ticket number, all you do is you add the pulse ID or the item ID, and we go back and say for rep is item ID. Update. So let's fill out this form real quickly to see what happens. Oh. Why did we do so many required fields, Frederick?
I don't know. I didn't build this one. But now everyone gets your information, and that's perfect. If you want to contact Thomas, please do a print screen right about now.
You know they'll get their recording, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm usually the one sending it.
Let's do technical. That's blah blah blah, and then let's do lorem ipsum dollars the whatever, and no file, and submit. And we already sent the outgoing email saying, thank you. Hey, Omnitas, thank you for submitting your technical ticket. For reference, your ticket number is... And that's it.
Perfect. Easy.
Yeah. And then you can build this on status triggers. You can have email automation. You can build this any way you want. And a next iteration of Community Hub, it will be integrated in Community Hub.
Yeah. So and you can build out with several triggers, so you can stagger emails going out, right?
Yes, exactly. And you can have one status changing another date. So when that date arrives, it's changed as another status. That's another webinar on its own, how to build a marketing automation engine in Monday. If you want to know that, please let us know. If we have enough interest, we'll definitely set it up. Cool. So let's look at some collaboration documents.
So, online docs.
Yeah. Hopefully, yes. So this is actually, I just took a board in the PMO solution. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out. So Online Docs gives this project alpha some project specific documents that we can work together in, and they, as long as they're in one of the online services, they are available. As you can see here, like hint. And I just, for some differences, we can also do a full presentation inside this online doc. And when we now it opened full screen for me, you probably don't see it because I'm sharing one.
Yeah, correct. We saw it opening.
Yeah, but everything, I just want to show that everything is movable because this is proper online documents, right? Currently using G Suite's Google Drive.
Yeah, basically it's the embedded full force of the G Suite, right?
Yeah, and make sure that you run this in full screen and you're good to go, basically.
Awesome.
And it supports a bunch of different services. Miro is, we're going to show it differently. If you use online docs for Miro, it becomes read-only. So you really want to use the Monday app specifically for Miro. There's so many board views in these PMO solutions, though. So the Miro board view, it gives you, let's open full screen. It actually gives us a view straight into one of our whiteboards where we can start building, we can work it. I can tell you, this is what, when we do exploratory sessions with our clients, this is how we understand and map out their different processes. And it's super, super nice as a service. In this case, we're actually looking at a CRM solution, and we had a sales process up to the handover to operation here.
Yeah, and Miro, in short, it is a flow chart creator.
Yes, and let's just from full transparency, guys, you actually have a free tier. We are still managing this on a team account, so the Miro service is it's a good service, right? It's worth every dollar.
Yeah.
But you can also reuse your whiteboards if you prefer that. So that's the collaborative documents. Now let's move into the project management backbones, the apps that has made Monday into a project management powerhouse.
The apps I have never seen a project management solution go without.
Yeah, no, it's one guy. His name is Bas. He's with us in the webinar. I saw him in the participation list. His solutions is awesome. I'm sorry about the Swedish, but it's not really the important things here, right? So this is a project overview. I have a few things. If I do a new project, if I select planned, I have an integration. I have a bunch of integrations here, but right now I want to, when status changes to planned, create an auto ID starting with 1 in this format, which we will see, and with a minimum of 3 digits, and present the answer here. So when I just change to planned, I will get P00 as the project number. It's a super, super, super small app. It's worth every penny. Well, it's actually a one-time cost of 37 euros. And then you have no limitations after that. So for the whole account, 37 euros.
Yeah, that's basically 2 lunches.
Yeah.
Just get it.
Yeah. And the next one is probably one of my favorite ones, and it has been named RMB within within Omnitas. So we don't say the full name. If you ever hear us say RMB, you know exactly it's roll up multiple boards.
Yeah, to specify, it's not RNB. That's something else. That's the style of music. We're saying RMB here.
Very valuable input. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I know. I contribute where I can.
Yeah. So I have different project templates, 2 different ones, one for implementation, one for marketing project. Let's do an implementation project because that's the only one I've prepared. And what just happened is that RMB created a new project board based on one of our templates, and through this link I can now go straight into the board, and this is the board. So if I say that this is done, you see I have some different dates here. If I change this date and I put it in February, you will see that once we go back, the timeline on the main item will start on February. But I also want to show you, if I do warning here, I have done some really cool stuff in so this one changed to February, and I have warning because RMB has a really cool RAG status. So if I have 3 warnings, it will say critical. If I have 1 warning, it will say warning. Otherwise, it will say okay. So let's go back to the project plan and mess everything up. Obviously, we would usually do a rule saying like 2 days before the end of the timeline, change the status to warning automatically. So that's part of the template, but we can't really show that now because I don't want to wait a bunch of days till the automation kicks in. And now it's critical, right? Yeah. And I have my progress of the whole account based on the done status.
And it's quite instantaneous as well.
It's so let's say I go in and I finish off all these tasks. It will change to all okay and 100%, and I can mark this project as done.
Yeah, so this is a great use case for basically getting that project overview board and a really down and gritty level detailed project boards, but still basically rolling up all the information you might need into that space where a project manager might want to live, or higher tier management, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and you know what? This timeline here, we never change it. It will be automatically updated.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to a Gantt view and see my different projects here.
Yeah.
On a very high level.
Yeah, but quite a few times that's what you want. You don't want all the steps.
Yeah. Pricing for this one is 179 euros per master board. So every overview board. That's to give you an that's roughly an hour of Omnitas time. If we were to build this, let's say in Integromat, you will be spending at least 20 hours of billable time on us. This app is so worth it.
Yeah, it saves you a bunch of money.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So and then we have the start and end timer, or start plus end equals time. The line. Where did I put it? Yeah. Nope. I did have an idea. Oh, yeah, I put it here. Sorry. So this is, let's call this a contract board, right? Let's look at the main board. So I have a timeline over here because I want a Gantt view of all the different contract spans for Avengers Tower and Baxter Building. So yeah, it's really good contracts we have here at Omnitas.
I would say.
Yeah.
Have to phone Tony later on.
Mm-hmm. So this is, I want to have a view where I can easily see the start, end, and the span of my contracts. But we have noticed that a lot of people, they are not happy interacting with the timeline, especially when you need to do longer timelines. So let's take this one, for example. If you have to go back further, and then it's still like a little iffy working it. And also, yeah. So what you can do is you can just let's make it a new item just for clarity. New item, I have a start date, that's today, no timeline. I have an end date, that's end of the month. I have a timeline. And you can set up the integration if you wanted to go date to timeline or timeline to date. Obviously, you don't want to create a loop. So you pick one.
Yeah, that might be fun otherwise.
Yeah, but these three together, because will like make life so much easier. I can't really remember. I think it's like 19 euros. No, 34. Again, one-time fee. So I think that all of these apps are very well worth it. We use them all the time. I haven't had a single client when showing the power of these apps, inquiring about the cost. They're like, no, super happy about the app and all the time it saves them. And a good use case for the start and end timer is when you do Excel imports, right? But you still want to have it as a timeline in Monday as well. So you import from Excel into a start time column, an end time column, and then you have the integration automatically populate the timeline column. And then once you move them away, you just go with the timeline. Or when you have longer time spans, our clients tend to appreciate setting the start time and the end time in date columns rather than the timeline column.
Yeah, I mean, like contract is really a good example. So sifting through years might be tough.
Yeah. How are we doing with questions? Everybody's like super informed and there's no questions?
Yeah, so far people know everything.
That's awesome.
Or they are saving it, or your presentation is just on the nose, I guess. So everyone gets all the information they need. So let's jump on.
Yeah. So the next one is Mr. Sami, Docugen. One of the, like I said, one of the older third-party apps in the app infrastructure. I think, to be honest, you even got to play with the app SDK before it was publicly available. But yeah, that's a really cool app. So the use cases are so many. I won't add all of them. You have Docugen.io. They have so many examples for you. They even have templates already built out. So what does the app do? It generates a Word file or a PDF for you. And it can use dynamic data from the board, either as a table in a document or to fill out placeholders in one document represented by the row. We have started to build a lot of HR systems with offer letters, appointment letters. So that's actually what we're looking at right now. And the key now.
There, now you're back, I think.
Yeah, so I get the red thingy, so I know that I disconnect, so I stop talking. So the key now would see that I actually used, if you go into add and you go to the choose from templates, see more templates, and you can actually, you have Docugen templates that you can use to get you started, and each of those boards has a direct link to relevant troubleshooting or instruction pages. So like I said, we have started to do a lot of HR, onboarding, recruitment builds currently. We're using Monday as a CMS for career pages, so it's only natural doing hirings. So let's look at the settings a little first, right? So we have in Docugen, we can generate the documents either into this interface, or we can have it attach the file to a column. I can have it being sent out to people to an email column, so we can automate sending the offer letter to the candidate. But for the purpose of this demo, we're just uploading it to a file column. I can give a naming convention, offer letter. This would be the item column, and this would be the job position column. I upload my document so I can look at it. So I have it. I can't. No, I can't open it right now because of software limitations. Do you want it to generate a Word file or a PDF or both or a rich text? In this case, I just wanted the PDF. And that's for generating an individual item. I set up a simple integration. When that button is pressed, generate a document based on this view setting. So this would be the name of the view, and this would be the settings. So if you have multiple versions, you just add different Docugen views and you name them accordingly, so you can reference them in your integration. Right.
Easy enough.
Let's look at this in action then. So Bob Pavlov, we want to offer you a job. I did test this earlier.
But that's so true to form. Always you test and yeah, it works fine, and then nah.
Yeah.
But I can attest to that it works.
Yeah. But anyways, let's go with Jim. So Jim already had one generated just as a backup. It's typical, right, when you do a demo. So Jim, with all his data, the date of the generation, dear Jim, reported to your manager, Thomas Carlson. That was the person column, a very, very low salary, and my things. So I can actually put dynamic data in here. So you see, it's pulling me, it's pulling salary, it's pulling the position, and now Bob's document is there. I was just a little impatient. And you can obviously do whatever you want with this template. I want to say another use case that we actually have is inventory. So you have a lot of places where they need to do inventory on a regular basis and record how much stuff they have. Actually, we've done it even for gyms. So some gyms are using Monday to make sure that they are they have this correct count of all the different weights. And then you have a table with all the items that need to be inventoried, and you have a numbers column with the quantity. Instead of generating one document for the row, that's when you want to use the ability to have the full table being inserted as a part of a text file, a text document. And then it will sit here as a snapshot saying, at this time, this is the quantity we had. And then every Friday, we do an inventory. And we probably have exactly the same numbers each week, but as soon as it changes, we will know, and then becomes so on. There's a lot of different use cases. Obviously, Frederick, who builds a lot of CRM systems, uses Docugen to generate the quote, and also even going as far as generating the actual agreement and contract.
Exactly. So we use it when you don't have a standard some digital signing solution. We can do contracts that way. As you said, quotas, a very common use case in a CRM to basically, by the press of a button, just send it to the client.
Yeah, and very, very generous pricing for the functionality that's provided. If you don't generate more than 100 documents per month, which I think that, I'm sorry, Sammy, but I think every single client we have helped with Docugen is on the free tier because they're not doing the volume, but they're loving the product. But as obviously, they just need one template. So if you need more templates, you will get up to the basic one. But it's still it's very, very good pricing. If you're looking at a real e-signing platform, you're looking at such other type of cost, and you would be paying this amount per user instead of for the whole account, right?
Yeah, and then they're quite commonly somewhere between like $30 and $50 a month per head.
Yeah. And there's probably a bunch of other stuff that we haven't mentioned because I know we can do a lot more, but we wanted to really show quantity and not deep dive into one of the apps too much.
Yeah. With that said, let's move on.
Yeah. So I think the next one is super, super niche, right? Even if it's niche, we're using it a lot. So it's update with Excel /CSV. So I have a board over here.
I can tell you this one has saved my life a couple of times.
All you need to do in order to make this work is you just add the item ID column. As long as you have the item ID column, you can always redo an import. So if you've imported something, if you want to change something, in this case, I'm going with a very slim product list. And this is what I have. I want to change something. So I've actually downloaded this spreadsheet. I sent it to Frederick, who doesn't have access to it for some reason. He changed some numbers and he sent it back to me. I go into the update with Excel. I have quite an easy press of a button. I don't know where my document is. Never mind. It's not on this computer anymore.
But fair to say, it's basically what's going to happen is that it's going to load up your document and tell us, these are the changes I'm going to make for you. Are you okay with them? And then you press the big OK button.
Yeah.
You're
so
good.
Let's do this quickly, right? Because it's not that complicated. Export board to Excel. I don't need updates, right? The board is being downloaded. Let's push it into Google Drive. I open it up in Google Drive because now you really get to see everything. So this price is not the real price. We're doing 250, and the margin then becomes 40. And this one here actually has 120, so that becomes an 80. Obviously, I don't really care about what I'm doing. I'm just changing some numbers, right? So let's download this into the spreadsheet again, Excel, and let's see if I can find it easily. Open file. There we go. This is the new one. Open. And you see it's marking my different changes really super easy. It identified 2 changes, apply. Everything is good. My new numbers are in the board.
Yeah. So not importing new rows, updating the items that are already there. So very when you need to change a lot of stuff in bulk.
The keen eye probably saw that I changed these 2 values in the spreadsheet. I did. But when I had when I read it back, it didn't show as an update because it's actually a formula column. So that's why it didn't register as a change in that view.
Correct.
And obviously you can do this for, imagine if you had like 600 leads and what happens a lot of the time, I have to throw the colleague little under the bus. Sometimes Viggo, he forgets the region of where the lead is. So he needs to complement the lead list.
Yeah, it's been known to happen.
Yeah, and before we had this app, he actually had to build a scenario in Integroma that went through all the items and updated the region for 500, 600 items. And then we had burned through our monthly operation limit. Now it's so much easier. So this is definitely a very niche app, but when you need it, oh my God, it's very needed, and it's so helpful. They have so the pricing is $19 per month.
Yeah, and it's per account, so it's not per user.
So 2 Omnitas apps left.
Yeah, so hopefully most of you have already seen them, but let's take a look.
Yeah. So I wanted to make a really, really, really crazy example for conversations. So, and it gives me a a possibility to push our time reporting app, okay? But
we just might plug it, right?
Yeah.
Might.
So this is our time reporting app. In the main table, I have reported a lot of time. So I have a few of them that are with comments, right? So this is my updates here. This is an update here. All of them are being linked together. And right now I want to check the CRM project. So I go into my project list. CRM, as you can see, we have 2 updates here. But if I go to my conversation, I will actually be getting I think it's like 100 linked items, and I'm getting all of them in one view.
So basically everything that is connected to the CRM project will link its updates or straight into it, which means basically you don't have to be jumping around to find your updates. You will have all the info wherever you are because it works in reverse, right?
Yes, and you also these are 2 comments on statuses, and it still pulls that through as well. But I want to make it even less. I have one even harder. So you see here we are. So this is the CRM client project, right? Let's go into clients. Clients here, Omnitas is linked to a lot of projects, including the CRM project. So the level of information that's being aggregated now is crazy. So we get this. So we have from the CRM project level, we have this. That's also a pro tip with this app. Make sure that you have big milestones. Have an automation create the updates so you get direct feedback at high project level about covering that milestone. And also, as you see, this is a totally different project because Omnitas Consulting is linked to 8 different projects, right? And this is still the ones we were looking at earlier. So I had 200 items being pulled into one project. I had 8 different projects being pulled into this item, and all of this is aggregating. I used the time reporting app because I felt the volume was super cool, but imagine doing this as a project with granularity where all the projects are linked together. You can get so much data through. If you do this with your CRMs, you will see all the contact, comments, and correspondence when you look at the company from the conversations tab as well.
Yeah, or you look at the deal and you get everything from both the company and the contacts. So yeah, the possibilities here are endless. And I can tell you, I don't do a single CRM build today where it's not included.
It's $798 per month, 1 month for free if you buy for the whole year. And the final
account.
Yeah, very good. And the final app is the traditional and beloved funnels.
Which is also great for a variety of use cases, actually.
Yeah, so in this case, we have a super simple CRM opportunity workflow. We have our deals, we have pipe, negotiation, quotes, signed steps. I need to understand how much money I have in the different stages and how much drop off I have. I go to my funnels view and it got me covered.
Yeah, and here we can easily see how many deals are we dropping at certain stages. So we get our percentages, we get it nice and easy, nice and clean. It's a normal funnels, but we have another use case for it as well. I don't know if you have it with you today, Thomas, but we can also use it to track our interactions, for example. That's quite commonly how I also use it in a CRM. So I can, as a sales manager, it's quite important for me to see how do we jump between interactions with clients, so I can basically tailor the best path to a signed contract in the end, hopefully.
Yeah, I did not put the funnels include two views. It includes the sales funnel and the journey view, which is the one Frederick was talking about.
Yeah.
I actually just focused on the sales pipe just because of the time aspect as well, and it's also the part that is most unique. Right.
And Funnels has its own webinar. Please do check it out.
Yeah, it's on. We actually have it on demand, right?
Yeah.
So you do your settings. It can work with formulas as well, unless it's too many if arguments. We are still enhancing the formula support because you need to do that manually or purposefully and create your own formula library. And we get on every stage, we get information like how much drop-off value, percentage, items, and when we click, we can see the actual items, how they move, what they are, which one is it. And yeah, so this is one of the better ones. It's actually during June is getting a dashboard widget. So if you have your sales steps or you want to track something over multiple boards, both for the journey and the funnels, but the funnels will be first out during June, we will have a dashboard widget. And pricing, $19 per month, 1 month for free if you buy the whole year.
And it's also per account, so you can use it on however many boards you like, and everyone can use it. So
cool. So we're gonna have this shareable view. This is gonna be sent out with you, everything. So you get the name of the app, you get the name of the developer, link to where you can install it. As you see, all of them are in the app marketplace, and then you get the link to the pricing. You don't get the link to my demo accounts, obviously, but all of this will be provided to you. With that said, I'm giving the screen back to you.
Thanks for that. And we actually have a couple of questions because we are going straight into the Q&A because we are nudging a bit on your time here. And actually, Deb was asking, do we prefer using Docugen for quotes over eQuote? I can say I haven't worked much with eQuote at all, or actually not at all, so I couldn't say. But Thomas, you might be able to give a better answer here.
I mean, if I just want to do quotes and I want something purpose built and I don't want to customize it, eQuotes is good. But you don't get the freedom you get from Docugen in making your template look whatever you want, pull out however you want. There's still a lot of like how the document looks in the end, right? That is a little restricted in that sense.
Yeah.
But that said, eQuote is still a good app. It's just not usually when we do document generation, we don't only do quotes, we do a lot more. And then why install two different versions? That's when we do Docugen because it allows us to do all the different aspects.
Basically, one app to handle it all.
Yeah. And Dimitri asked about when is the time reporting app going to be rolled out? Yeah, I think the whole world is asking us about this. So we actually have a really, really aggressive time roadmap for adding the missing features. Right now, you can report time. You can request a beta access. Should we send out the link with the documentation, Frederick, afterwards with the email?
Yeah, it seems like it's always a popular one, so I'll make sure that my team will include the beta access submission. Just fill out the form, and we'll handle you once we get it.
Yeah, but Dimitri, just to give you an idea of the roadmap, so what we're looking at is we're going to be able to plan time. We're going to be able to manage vacation and holidays and get that as blockers in the timeline view. We're looking at attendance tracking as a start and stop watch thingy, and obviously managing bigger load of boards. And we're looking to have at least submitted to the App Store mid of June, and hopefully we will get a super quick review and we'll be in the App Store by end of June.
So basically midsummers.
Yeah, and so the beta access is free. Once it goes live, you don't need to reinstall, but you'll fall into a 14-day trial.
Yeah, and we can tell you right now, it's priced at $2.99 per user. And that is the number of users you have in the account.
The number of seats.
Yeah, you can correct the number of seats.
Cool.
With that, there doesn't seem to be much more questions, but I wanted to plug this a bit. So please do stay up to date with our upcoming webinars, our digital tips and guidelines, Monday updates, and so much more. We are striving to build out a really great content hub. Please go on to our website, www.omnitas.se. And sign up for our newsletter. It's all in English, so you don't have to worry about any weird Swedish popping through.
Because of this is actually to promote the app framework in the App Store. So I know there's a lot of partners in here. If you have some upcoming stuff, webinars or whatever, go ahead and plug it in the chat. Feel free, because this is to promote everything app related, not only Omnitas, right? So go ahead.
Correct. If you have anything, and all you app developers, we will be reaching out to all of you very, very soon for other reasons. With that,
we are really looking to strengthen and increase the install base overall from Monday apps, because we think that, and we agree with Monday, this is the future going forward.
Yes, Monday can't do it all. They can't have all the ideas, but together we can build something really, really, really great. With that said, there doesn't seem to be much more questions going on here. So from me, from Thomas, from Omnitas, and from probably all the app developers as well, a great big thank you for listening in today. This webinar will be on demand on our website later on, and all of you who are here today will, of course, get a link as well, so you can watch it again, and as well with the board and the beta access for the time reporting app. So if you have anything, you can now see both mine and Thomas' email addresses on the screen. So if there's any questions or something you didn't dare to post right now, please do send us an email and we'll help you out. With that said, take the best of care, all of you, and have a great evening or the rest of the day.
Have a great day.
Bye.